Hey everyone, it's Peter.
And I'm Alex. What's up, guys?
Yeah, how's it going? Well, we just got out of seeing Gravity, the latest Alfonso Cuarón movie starring George Clooney and Sandra Bullock as astronauts stranded in space. And we thought that we should tell you what the deal is with that movie. Alex, you want to kick this baby off?
This movie has gotten a lot of hype and talk from very established critics and well respected. And they had talked about this movie probably like in the Oscar level. And after seeing it, I enjoyed it. It's a very it's not like anything. It's a very unique movie. It's probably the most unique movie since, I think, Inception, in terms of there's nothing quite like this movie.
That's absolutely true. We're the general premise of the movie, and I have to add, it's a great premise. I was absolutely going out of my mind when I heard about this because it's such a great concept. But it's about two astronauts who are doing repairs. It's about a group of astronauts who are doing repairs on the Hubble
I guess
telescope.
we should do a spoiler, but I guess if it's
Okay,
a review, you know that. It's a spoiler alert, so...
Oh yeah, there will be spoilers. But yeah, they're doing repairs on the Hubble telescope. Something goes wrong, there's a bunch of space debris, and they're left floating in space.
Mm-hmm.
And just right off the bat, that's such a unique and terrifying concept. Where, do you know who Ken Levine is?
No.
Okay, well, Ken Levine is he's the creator and designer of the BioShock series.
That's who he is.
Yeah, and in an interview about why he decided to make Rapture an underwater city, he said something that I think is absolutely brilliant that every writer, especially horror writer, should consider, is that if you're going to create tension and horror, you have to set it in a place where the protagonist just can't walk away from it.
Wow, well said.
Yeah, because that's the biggest problem with horror movies, where at least I'm always wondering where, when they're in the haunted house or in the haunted woods, it's just sort of, why would you go in there? Or, maybe you're strapped for cash because you sank all your money into this dump, this awful dilapidated house, but just move.
Yeah, just move. Go to a McDonald's, then buy
fuck.
a couple beers and leave.
Even if you can't afford to buy another house or rent another place, live in your car.
Yeah, get the hell out.
Just,
it seems like people are stuck in these horror situations because they're just, somehow extremely stupid.
Yeah. It's super awesome to have a bed and a roof over your head and running water and plumbing and stuff.
You know what's better than that? Life.
Yeah, it's not worth having to deal with a homicidal spirit.
Yeah, I know. It's just it seems like the main characters are they're only stuck in that terrible situation because they lack common sense and intelligence.
Yeah, and, no one's really talked about Gravity as a horror movie, but in my opinion, it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
Because the scenario that they're in is absolutely terrifying, even though there aren't, space zombies or space spiders.
There's no zombies, vampires, spiders,
but
guy with a machete.
Yeah.
But if something goes wrong, you are the most screwed. You're more screwed. That's the worst possible place to be for something to go wrong.
Being adrift in space. And it's described as a thriller, but I've always thought that a thriller is just a name for a horror movie without any supernatural elements like monsters and stuff. Silence of the Lambs. That's a goddamn horror movie.
Yes, it is.
But I don't know why. Maybe it's because there aren't any monsters in it, but it's considered to be a thriller.
Yeah, this was a very tense movie, and what's very unique about this, and we've seen this before, and I think in No Country for Old Men comes to mind, but there is very little dialogue in this movie. Wow, sorry. We're stuck in traffic, being Los Angeles, and this guy is doing some obscenely terrible driving.
Oh my god, this man is so fucked.
This man, he's literally blocking the equivalent of one of the busiest streets in LA.
Yeah. Oh god.
So I'm just going to continue speaking while making sure my car doesn't get destroyed in the next 2 minutes. What I think, and there is very little dialogue in this. Wow, now he's blocking.
Oh my god!
Almost.
Wait! Did you see the white BMW just make a U-turn? Yeah, she is not putting up with this.
No.
Yeah, we just saw a woman in a white BMW. She was about to turn. She was about to turn onto the street. Saw what was going on, hooked a U-turn, and is gone.
In the opposite direction.
Yeah, she is.
Yep.
Yeah, she vanished in a flash.
So, yeah, where was I? Oh, Gravity, yeah. It's, there's very little dialogue in this movie. And, we said that we're starring Sandra Bullock and George Clooney. It is basically only Sandra Bullock and George Clooney. There's, another character that's, basically an extra. It's 2 actors. That is it.
Yeah.
Which I think makes the movie just challenging with so few actors and making a decent movie. It's very hard. And, honestly, I thought Sandra Bullock, I think, is the star of this movie, and she's spectacular in it.
Yeah, I'm not a Sandra Bullock fan, but she did a great job in this movie. I think it's her best performance, but I'm not well-versed in Sandra Bullock movies.
It might be her most, well-regarded movie besides The Blind Side, that football movie.
Yeah, I didn't see it. It seemed a bit too silly for me.
It was too sappy and kind of romantic, emotional. My taste, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she got nominated for Best Actress in this movie.
Yeah. I think she deserved because, she pretty much carries the whole movie by herself.
Yeah, and for any actor or actress to carry a movie basically by themselves, and usually we say when the actor carries the movie when the minor characters are kind of weaker, like actors and actresses.
Yeah.
But when we say she's carrying the movie, that's literally true.
Yeah, in this movie, it's Sandra Bullock or bust. If she did not act her ass off in this movie, it would not be too great.
And
now I have to add, though, I'm saying she practically carried the movie by herself. Because, Alex, this might blow your mind, and thank God for this traffic, because you're not going to drive us off the road, but I love George Clooney in this movie.
I kind of want to press my horn right now.
Don't do it.
I'm debating.
Don't do it. Not in this traffic.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, Peter actually despises George Clooney. Oh, man. Why is the sky not falling right now? Why is the sky not turning pink, and why is there not a giant...
Why aren't pigs flying?
Why is there a pig that's purple going? Yeah, George Clooney... This is the first time where he...
Hey, look, it's our friend.
Oh, oh, we just saw the same stupid driver again, literally 5 minutes later, on this really terribly trafficked street. So yeah, the acting and the story is very basic. The character, Sandra Bullock's character, an astronaut. Things have gone the worst possible scenario ever.
Yeah, it's Murphy's Law in space.
Yeah, Murphy's Law in space. Now I think we got to talk about what the biggest type of is, the visuals in this thing. These visuals are probably the most outstanding visuals I've seen since Avatar.
Actually, you know what? I'd go as far as to say it. James Cameron, suck it.
Yep, I would actually, you know what? I agree. James Cameron, you have been outdone.
Yeah. We saw this in 3D, and there were a couple times where it took all of my effort to make sure that my jaw didn't just drop.
They make space, which is beautiful in itself, just looks stunning. And it's quite the most visually impressive movie. And this shows that you don't need a lot happening to make something visually stunning. Like, the idea of being visually cool is just what I like to call the Michael Bay method of explosion, explosion, explosion. Or in Avatar, there's a lot of action going on. Everything is there's nature and animals and lots of stuff happening.
Yeah.
All you're seeing is the Earth from space. There's space, and then there's Earth. That's all the visual.
Yeah.
But
and really, it's all about
this simple visual is.
Yeah, and really, it's all about the way that Alfonso Cuarón decided to shoot the film, where where all of the shots are so great. And when the visual elements are combined with the audio and the audio editing, which I think is another truly outstanding element, of the film. You know, when
The editors really should deserve so many props for this movie.
I mean, all of the editors for every single part of the movie deserve great praise.
And they do things with camera work that are some of the most unique camera work I've seen, probably since Inception, in terms of camera work. That there's camera work where it's actually shown from a first-person view, which I have not seen in a movie before.
No, I mean, they've done that a lot in movies. Like, I don't know if you know the Doom movie.
I know of it, the Doom movies.
Okay, you didn't see the Doom movie, but I mean, it's something that action directors have always done. You know, it was also an act of valor, which pretty much turned that movie into watching someone else play Call of Duty.
I call it a Go Army recruitment movie.
Yeah, Go Navy.
Go Navy recruitment movie. Yeah. My mistake. It was a Navy SEAL movie, but
yeah, this is the most effective first-person filmmaking I've seen.
And honestly, that was almost maybe, besides the shots of space and the Earth, which honestly are probably almost like identical to real pictures of space when you see it, but the first-person camera work was probably the most impressive visual effects I have ever seen. And in 3D, it blew my mind. My mind was blown every time they switched to first person.
Yeah, one of the few times where I can actually say, you have to see it in either IMAX or in 3D, or ideally in IMAX 3D. We only saw it in regular 3D, and it was stunning. If you saw it in IMAX 3D, I don't know what would happen to you.
Yeah, it would be maybe the most mind-blowing things ever. And
also another excellent element of this movie is the fact that it's short.
Yeah, this is only a 90-minute movie.
Yeah,
but
I think it's about 95 minutes in length, which is the perfect runtime for this concept. Because, you know, if this movie was 2.5 hours long, like most Oscar bait films, it would have gotten old
real fast.
Real fucking fast. And that was actually my greatest concern about this film, where I said, it's such a genius concept, but how long can you run with it?
And they ran with it, I think, the perfect amount of time. And I think that I think this movie will be in the Oscars. Like, Sandra Bullock probably will win Best Actress for this movie. Will George Clooney win? And George Clooney winning Best Actor,
or at least
he'll at least be nominated.
You know, he'll definitely be nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Best Supporting Actor, my mistake.
But
yeah, it's
you want to drop some ratings?
And you know what? One thing I liked before I drop rating,
okay.
I just wanted commentary. It's gotten people really interested and brought back to the mainstream the interest in space itself. Which to me, I'm a huge advocate of. I like everything space related. It's a part of science field I would love to go into if I was smart enough, but I'm not, unfortunately. So
don't say that, Alex. You never know what the future holds.
Maybe,
for you.
But space I find to be very interesting, and I hope you just. I think it really symbolizes space. It's beautiful, but it can be terrifying. And I think that's just kind of, I think maybe an overarching theme, or I could just be drawing meaning from it. But,
no, I mean, it's absolutely true. It's beautiful, but it's incredibly dangerous. And you could also make some sort of environmental message about it, I guess, about man's impact on not just the world, but the universe in general, because the greatest problem with space exploration, space travel, and all that jazz is the problem of space debris.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what this movie is about, just showing you how dangerous something as simple as, you know, a piece of metal the size of
your hand
or a baseball, and how much devastation it can cause when you're out there.
Yeah. I mean, if there's only one critique, and this is not really a critique, I thought the idea of how did disaster happen was a little bit funny to me.
Yeah.
Kind of like, Russians blow up a satellite with a missile. What?
Yeah, you know, there are... I'll have to delve back into my notes from my global security classes, but I'm pretty sure that there's a treaty against...
launching a missile into space.
Against destroying satellites.
You know, I was actually wondering, like, when they said, like, satellites got taken out, I was wondering if, like, World War III was going to happen. There were going to be bombs exploding over
Yeah,
the
I
Earth.
was really curious about what was going on the
Like,
surface.
there was a point in the movie where I thought, like, she was going to come back to the Earth and the world would have been destroyed.
Actually,
That thought came to my mind, actually.
actually, you know what? Throughout the whole movie, since everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong for poor Sandra Bullock at some point, and people, this is getting into the way into the spoiler territory. But I thought that when she landed in the ocean,
Yeah.
and when she got out and she took her first breath of air, that a shark was gonna pop up and eat her. And for a moment I thought that, but I said, you know what? Someone like Alfonso Cuarón would not do that. You know, maybe I don't know, Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen
Or
would do
Sci-Fi
something
Channel
like that.
original movie.
But yeah, but not someone like someone serious like Alfonso Cuarón. But yeah. Also, back onto that, Sandra Bullock can definitely pull off the Halle Berry hair.
Yep.
You know, the shortcut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is kind of being very, but she wasn't bad looking too in that movie.
She was pretty.
For how old is she now? 40?
Late 30s, early 40s.
Early
I don't know.
40s? Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad for the early 40s.
Yeah, I felt really bad when when she finally gets to the space station and takes off her spacesuit, and I feel really ashamed that I wasn't thinking about her scenario or the great filmmaking or the great cinematography. My first thought was, dude, Sandra Bullock is hot as fuck.
Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing too. It was like,
And the
yeah,
moment I thought that, I felt so
I was
ashamed.
like, oh my god.
Just like,
Are we that vain to think that?
yeah. Am I that shallow?
Honestly,
I didn't think I was, but
They
I
did a
guess
great
so.
a great portrayal of the space station too, and it kind of made me think I would,
Yeah.
if I could do one thing in my life before I died, it would be spending a month in the space station.
A month?
I would spend a month. In the
A
space.
month? Dude,
I'd pick a week.
I'd say a week. Yeah, a month in that.
People say that I've stayed there for 4 months, 5.
Yeah, but I mean, they're astronauts and they're used to it.
Yeah.
And also, I think they'd be pretty happy to get the fuck out of there after 4 months.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I'd say I'd do it for a week.
I do it for a week too.
But people, yeah, that's one of the problems with space travel. Before you get all excited and think all the ships are gonna be like the Enterprise or the Millennium Falcon. No,
No,
they're not.
They're not.
They're not.
They did a great depiction that space travel is really hard
Yeah.
and unbelievable. I still don't know, and also the way things floated in space was kind of cool too.
Yeah.
They did lots of shots of just random things floating.
Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ratings.
Oh, ratings. Yeah. How are we gonna rate these movies? Oh man, I'm not even sure.
I don't know. For games, I feel like we can get away with I feel like we can do the 10-point scale, or we can get away with it. But
Movies.
for movies, I feel like it's got to be on that 4 or 5-point scale.
Yeah, the movies will be on the 5 scale. I'm putting it out of 5. Maybe like a. Oh, you know what? Let me think of before I come with the number.
Okay,
I'll let you start off.
I'll be honest. I was actually kind of waiting for you to give a rating before I gave a rating. But
You
you
know-
know what? You gave the rating. You gave the first rating in our Grand Theft Auto 5 review. I'll give the first rating for Gravity, and I'm gonna give it a 5 because I was thinking about it in the movie. Well, after we got out of the movie, and I'm not sure if it's the best movie ever made, or even if it's going to be the best movie that comes out this year. But I can't think of I can't think of anything that was wrong with it. I don't have a bad thing to say about it.
Yeah, I agree. Neither do I. There's no flaws in this movie. There's no, I don't know how, like, well remembered it's gonna be, but in terms of movies this year, it's probably one of the best ones I've seen. So yeah, I give it a 5 because this has to be seen in theaters.
Oh,
And
yeah,
most
definitely.
movies, you can't say that anymore, but this is a movie made for the theater. It's made to be seen in IMAX. In
Yeah,
3D.
it's sort of the same problem I had with Avatar, where I didn't really care for Avatar that much. So when people would walk up to me and ask me what I thought about what I thought about Avatar and if they should see it in theaters, I had to say yeah, because while I don't think it's all that great, honestly, if you're not going to see it in theaters, there's really no point.
Yeah, exactly.
And with Gravity, I sort of feel the same way, where you definitely have to see it in a theater, and you have to see it in a specific theater, in either a 3D optimized or an IMAX theater. But still, it's really well written. It's a really interesting premise. And when I was actually about to give my rating, when I was giving my rating for it, I was still trying to think of something negative to say about the movie, which is why I kind of got tongue-tied.
Yeah,
because the gears were just going, because the gears in my brain were going on full blast, but I couldn't think of anything.
There was never a dull moment in that movie. There was not a movie where I kind of got disconnected from the film.
Yeah.
And people, I'm going to say this because I'm still annoyed from the fate of Pacific Rim. Guys, please go. If you're going to go to a theater, people are always questioning theaters now because of ticket prices and time and whatnot. If you're going to theater, see movies like Gravity. Don't see Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
You know what we mean.
Please, yeah, you know exactly what we mean. See
We
movies
said
like
it.
this.
I think I said in a previous review that more movies like Gravity, and I don't know who this director. I don't know what this director has done before. What has he done before? Who directed this again?
I think he directed Children of Men.
Oh.
That's the one that's popping up to my mind right now. He also directed another movie that was supposed to be really good, starring Javier Bardem.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't remember the name of it.
But yeah, this is a movie. Like, if you want debating going to a theater, this is the movie to see.
Yeah.
And this is probably the first movie that I think this year that I've seen that is, like, theater worthy.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And I'm still trying to think of a bad thing to say about this movie, but I cannot think of anything. I'm trying so hard right now, Alex, to try to find one critique of the movie, and I can't do it.
This has more intensity, I think, than most action movies I've seen. And you know and it's only with flying debris, and it's more interesting. Think about how many movies have flying debris. Like, for example, think of the amount of flying debris in a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah. We talked about how you can look at it like a horror movie. You can also look at it like an action movie, too, in that respect.
Yeah, I guess you can look at an action movie. Where...
just because there isn't some terrorist who's trying to steal something or
guns.
Or sell weapons, it can still be an action movie. It's just... I can't stop saying good, interesting things about this movie, Alex.
Yeah, I know. So guys, I gave it a perfect score, as did Peter.
So yeah, we both gave it perfect 5 out of 5.
Yep. Run to the theater, go see it.
Absolutely. Hold up. I'm Peter.
And I'm Alex.
Yeah. So go out and see Gravity and enjoy it. Adios.
Adios.